All right, trying this again. I'm having some technical difficulties this evening. So this is take three. So I actually had started at 5 minutes early. Now it looks like I'm going to be 12 minutes late. I usually try to start this at 7:30 on Wednesdays. Having some technical difficulties. So seeing hopefully my video was working, then it stopped working. Now audio wasn't working. So hopefully the audio is working now. Um, so if people can hear me, definitely let me know, and then we'll continue on. And then we're good now. Okay. Third time's the charm. Ryan, thanks for that help. That actually really did help me out. Somehow it got switched and the settings got all messed up. So now we are good. So I guess I'll talk about what you guys may have missed in the beginning part of AEW. They started out with the TNT tournament. The semifinals, Cody Rhodes, Darby Allin. Oh, excuse me. Nice hard hitting match. It was pretty exciting. Everybody knows I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes. You might not know I'm a huge fan of Darby Allin. I really like the character that they've introduced. I've actually, since being introduced to him on AEW, I went back and watched some of his matches before, like on Evolve and stuff like that. So that was a pretty good match. If you get a chance, it was a really cool finish to the match. So it didn't make Darby look bad. It didn't make Cody look bad. But there's no surprises there. If you've paid attention to the last 2 weeks, third week of doing this, I've kind of predicted who I think is going to be in the finals. NXT opened up with some more of the cruiserweight matches. And then we did have Johnny Gargano and his wife. They came out and she had a match. Just showing off her new fierce attitude. So now on AEW, they're having some more of this Brady Bunch knockoff with Jericho. Oh my. So if there's anything wrestling related, any news or anything you guys want to talk about, definitely pop the questions up there. We'll discuss it, and if there's any good rumors that you guys heard about wrestling this week, let's talk about those, whatever it may be. I've heard a few. All right, so the Inner Circle is on AEW right now, and then NXT. Just a commercial. So far for that first hour, we're almost done with the first hour of AEW and NXT. AEW really has a strong product on today, so that's pretty good. Interesting. Okay, not sure where they're going with this one, but interesting. You know what? I know. So 13 Scorpio wants to know, did I see the Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring? To be quite honest, I haven't watched any of the Dark Side of the Ring. I know they started out season 2 with the Chris Benoit story. I haven't jumped on board. I know there's other people that, really love it, and I hear that it's got a lot of buzz. So I have seen a few on the YouTube and stuff that I'm probably going to sit down and watch. But no, I did not see the Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring. That's a pretty interesting one. I know a little bit about what happened, how he got murdered and stuff, but I would probably like to watch that to find out a little bit more. Very good question. Oh, a little cameo from Vicky Guerrero on AEW. Interesting. Interesting. They call it a. You'd have to see it. So again, AEW has been pretty good. NXT, there's nothing really that I would say you have to go back and really tune in if you missed it. No big deal. But AEW, definitely. We got Jimmy Havoc coming out right now. Jimmy Havoc kind of reminds me of how maybe a character I might have portrayed when I first came out and debuted in wrestling. But not only the character, but he is a hard hitter. You know, he's kind of in your face, kind of like my style. So we have 13 Scorpio. He says the Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring is the first one that he watched. It's very interesting. So, you know, I'll have to take that recommendation and actually watch that. So I'll have something else I can talk to you guys about. So AEW also has Kip Sabian coming out. So I'm assuming that's going to be a tag team match. Kip Sabian, Havoc. Yep. That's a tag match. Probably going to be against the Best Friends, I'm assuming. So, yeah, if you're just tuning in, you know, definitely let's talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm watching AEW NXT live. Kind of tell you what's going on each one, so you know which one to tune into or which one to take a look at on your DVR. NXT has Adam Cole just doing a promo on the Dream. That's kind of interesting. There's been a lot of Dream backstage news going on. You know, he's allegedly done some inappropriate things. So that's interesting. But next week, we will have Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole. So even before the backstage heat with Velveteen Dream, I don't think Adam Cole is going to lose it to the Dream. Not sure that the Dream is going to be the next guy to wear the NXT belt. If I had to guess now, the next champ is going to be Keith Lee. So, speaking of Keith Lee, we have Mia Yim, Keith Lee's real life girlfriend. She's coming out to have a match. Big fan of Mia Yim all the way back to the TNA days. Actually, I really didn't like her in the beginning of TNA. And she actually, I think, a very talented lady wrestler. So, so we got 13 Scorpio. He said maybe worth a review or video discussion. And what he's talking about is the dark side of the ring, the Dino Bravo dark side of the ring. Yeah, so the Dino Bravo, that's one I want to take a look at. Obviously, the Chris Benoit. I actually had the privilege of meeting Chris Benoit almost exactly a year before the tragic event happened. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, he was one of the nicest wrestlers. When I happened about a year prior, I did a show where I was working backstage as a security for WWE, and he was one of the nicest people back there. So he talked with you, you know, and stuff like that. But more importantly, he just kind of stayed off to the side and literally he probably did several hundred squats just there, just squatting most of the time. But you know, he interacted with you and he was very nice, and unlike some of the other experiences I had that day. So okay, NXT might be the one to tune into right now. You have Charlotte Flair versus Mia Yim. I believe it's for the title. I don't foresee Mia Yim taking it, but this should at least be a good match. So if you're looking for something out of the two to watch, I'd probably tune into NXT right now. AEW that's that, yeah, Best Friends versus Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. So that's what's going on AEW. 13 Scorpio, think Zack Ryder to AEW. So if I was AEW, out of the people that got released, Zack Ryder would definitely be somebody that I would be signing to AEW. The other person that I would be signing to AEW is Rusev. Adam Johnson says hi Adam. Thanks for tuning in today. Just watching NXT and AEW live. So if you're just tuned in right now, AEW has Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian versus the Best Friends. I would be tuning into NXT to watch the Charlotte versus Mia Yim match. So, but on to that prior question, yeah, Zack Ryder to AEW is a no-brainer. I think hard worker. He has the fans behind him. I think that would be a great thing for Zack Ryder. I think he would easily move up the ranks in AEW, but Rusev would be another one I'd want to see over there. And as far as tag teams, the Revival would be the tag team that I would pick up if I was AEW. I think the Revival had the privilege of meeting them last year at the Royal Rumble Fan Access, even though it was a short interaction. You know, they seemed pretty nice, down to earth, and you know, I just like their old school style of tag. So yeah, Mia Yim and Charlotte. Yeah, that's still where my eyes are watching on that match. So Mia Yim wasn't the best of Charlotte. You know, she cut her off. You know, at first I wasn't a real big fan of maybe putting Charlotte to NXT, but actually, I don't know. This is the first time I'm actually excited in a while to see a Charlotte match. All right, just looking at these comments that came in. So NXT, Charlotte and Mia Yim, that's on commercial. AEW still has the Best Friends versus Kip Sabian. So I do this every Wednesday. I try to get on here about 7:30, kind of let you guys know what you guys missed earlier on in that first half hour, just so it doesn't go so long with the live stream. But if you have AEW uh, taped or DVR'd, or go back on YouTube and watch it, that Cody Rhodes Darby Allin match, definitely worth a view. Okay, so Andrew, not sure. Let's see. I saw the comments here. There's a video that Adam Johnson has a link to. I don't know what that is. Um, Ryan, yay, sound. I know we had some technical difficulties earlier, so thank you, Ryan, for helping me with the sound, getting it working. So, where I was 5 minutes early, I hopped on live 5 minutes early and end up actually being 12 minutes later than I normally am. So, every Wednesday, we do this watching NXT and AEW live. So if you guys have anything you guys want to talk about, any wrestling stuff, you guys hear any good rumors? We were talking about the Dark Side of the Ring. 13 Scorpio was telling me I should give that a watch, and maybe that's up for a good discussion here in the future. He was referencing the Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring. I have yet to see any of the Dark Side of the Rings. So someone by the name of Lost My Cat, JK bro, have a good. Okay. Oh, Andrew, JK bro, have a good stream. Thank you guys. All right, so the AEW match has all broken loose. They got chairs in there. The Best Friends and have the chairs in there. Seems like this is a pretty decent match so far. I was waiting for somebody to kind of talk about this. So Andrew asked, "Did you see that Disney might buy WWE for that Disney Plus. That is one of the rumors I heard. The stronger ones I heard actually today was that ESPN and or Fox may pick up WWE, and that might be finalized by mid-May. So not sure if there's any truth to that. So yeah, if there's some truth to that, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm ready for Vince to step aside and let another company have at it. I've also heard that Vince is kind of thrown his. Andrew thinks that might be the end of WWE. I personally, I don't think so. I think we need fresh eyes and fresh hands on it to kind of revitalize it. I think they got a lot of top talent there. They just don't know what to do with them. I've heard Vince is kind of fed up with just things in general and the way they're going. So that he's willing to give anybody that wants a release, he's willing to let them out of their contract. So that's pretty interesting. Ryan said, "Got to be careful. Look what Disney did to Star Wars." Yeah, yeah, that good point there. Another good point. Yeah, but ESPN does. Andrew would says, "Yeah, but ESPN doesn't do wrestling. Who do you think they would bring in as writers and people to run the company?" That's a good point, but I think fresh face, fresh look on it. Maybe I'm just being optimistic and hopeful. Um, I think Vince, he doesn't want to step aside and let Triple H and Stephanie kind of, take the reins a little bit. Um, so I don't know. Adam Johnson, favorite song. I don't know if I have a favorite song. I mean, well, if we're gonna go with favorite band, my favorite band's probably gonna be Metallica. Um, but just so don't let the country, the cowboy hat fool you. Do love some Trace Atkins, but my favorite song, I don't know. I really like my entrance music when I come out and get to do my job up people. We use the Eminem Venom song. That's pretty good. Ryan, Barbie Girl. So, Andrew, do you think James Storm will ever come to the WWE? James Storm's my favorite wrestler. Him and Zack Ryder and Triple H. Well, hopefully Zack Ryder is going to AEW. I think he would be great there. Funny you mentioned James Storm because his catatonic is actually my finisher. I call it the fatality. So I've been inspired by James Storm. Will he ever go to WWE? I don't think if he ever came to WWE, I don't think WWE would know what to do with James Storm. His best bet would be Ring of Honor, AEW. Um, is probably what I would say his best bet would be. Okay, they just power driver on Kip Sabian onto the chair. So in this match, they've incorporated chairs. There's ladders. Looks like there might be a small black satchel of something, maybe some thumbtacks. So Andrew said 100%. Thoughts on NWA? I have a little bit more thoughts if they had. I just think they need to, find some way to get on TV, whether it's weekly, whether it's monthly. That's how they're going to get the most viewers and the most people talking about them. But again, NWA has some good talent there that you can't see anywhere else. So, man, so this match on AEW is kind of stealing my attention, where I was promoting heavy the Mia Yim versus Charlotte. Speaking of such, I'll tune back to that. That match is still going on NXT. Charlotte just hit a big boot on Mia Yim, got a 2 count. So a lot of good questions here. who won the first NXT match? I'm gonna be honest, that was the cruiserweight tournament, and I was more excited about the Darby Allin Cody Rhodes match, where Cody did pick up the victory. No surprise there, but he did it in such a way that it didn't affect Darby Allin. So if you haven't seen it, go back and tune into it. Cody goes up to the top, and I called it. He's about to hit the backflip, and all of a sudden, okay, so there you go. Actually, Charlotte just won against Mia Yim. Got her in a figure four leg lock, the figure eight that she does. No surprise there, but from what I saw, that was a pretty good match. But Cody went up back to the first match on AEW. Cody went up, looked like he was going to do a moonsault, and all of a sudden he does Darby Allin's coffin drop. Darby Allin gets his knees up, and then Darby goes up, goes for the coffin drop, actually hits the coffin drop, but has too much momentum on there that Cody was able to shift and actually get the 3 count. All right, so now the number 1 contender on NXT, Io Shirai, is coming out. Fan of Io Shirai, but I have heard rumors that once her contract is up, New Japan's going to offer her a lot of money, her and Kairi Sane, to try to steal them back. Definitely think those are 2 good talents for New Japan to try to steal back. 2 very talented ladies. I'm a fan of both. Ryan says figure 4. 13 Scorpio says LOL. Adam Johnson says finger 5. Probably something that I said. I probably botched something, but that's what you get when you watch me live. So let's see. AEW. So they're just promoting that Moxley's going to be on there talking later on tonight on AEW, but the semifinal Lance Archer Dustin Rhodes match is going to be tonight. If you've been watching this is the 3rd week I've been doing this. I'm going to do this every Wednesday. Lance Archer's going to win. It's going to go on to face Cody Rhodes. They've been building that one pretty strong. So now AEW's on commercial and NXT's on commercial. So Andrew posted on here, don't like Nick Aldis. He just wish he was a decent heel like he was as Magnus. I do like him better as Magnus. I will agree. Yeah. So, what other things? Now we're on commercial here. So there's NXT showing the commercial for The Miz. I'm actually excited. There's a new game show coming out in May. Actually, this is what it is. Cannonball with The Miz. So as the host. So that should be pretty interesting. Just says coming soon, but I think I saw somewhere that it's going to be in May. It kind of looks, oh man, what's that? It kind of looks like Wipeout. So. All right, got some stuff in here. So 13 Scorpio. So I hear your Instagram is up and running. Yes, I am trying to, be a little bit more active on Instagram. So I've actually started with doing a pop a day. So each day I've been putting a new WWE pop on there. As you see behind me, you see I have all my WWE pops, have some little micro brawlers. And yes, this back here, this is real. That's my belt for SSW wrestling. That's around here. I had the honor of winning that same show. I believe that we had which legends that we have on that show that day. I'm not sure. Was it believe it was Glacier and Kennedy and stuff like that. Or no, maybe that was the last one. I don't know. No, Bushwhacker Luke was there. So, all right. So yes, Instagram is up and running. Fate Club on Instagram. Follow me on there. I've also been posting some pictures of um, some of the wrestlers that we've met. So I'm gonna be doing that some more. Andrew, do you think TNA would have been a top brand if Hulk Hogan didn't join? I still enjoy TNA. I loved 2010 till 2015, but Hogan took their money, and his last time in TNA made Dixie grab his legs and beg. Yeah, I was a big fan of TNA. I remember when they first started. I was about 18 when they first started, maybe 19, and I actually took a trip down there. I was super excited. At that time, Raven was my favorite wrestler. He was going to have his title match against Jarrett. We ended up driving down to Nashville, got to meet a lot of the wrestlers. Actually, that was the first time I had the chance of meeting CM Punk, and at the time, I didn't think he was going to be anybody famous, and now he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers that is not in the business right now. So, but yeah, Hogan coming to TNA wasn't really a good call. Some of the decisions Dixie made really helped kind of doom them. I thought they kind of had a resurgence here before the Hardys went back to WWE. Unfortunately, I don't think they made the right call. Whatever at the time, the Hardys were so hot. I think maybe if they could have kept them around and worked on something, but once AEW got into the picture, TNA is just an afterthought now. So, Adam Johnson, Otis or Macho Man? Is that who do I like more, Otis or Macho Man? Not sure. Obviously, it's Macho Man all day long. I got my. So let's see. Was wondering about what this is. This is the Macho Man Brawler, Micro Brawler. These are from Pro Wrestling Tees. So, but yeah, Otis or Macho Man. If you're talking about who I like more, Otis is funny, but he's no Macho Man. All right. And then Andrew, do you believe TNA ruined Monty Brown? I love Monty Brown. Never seen anyone like him. Um, you know what? I would have to say, yeah. I mean, I briefly remember him in TNA, and I've been watching wrestling since I was just a baby. So, uh, some people come and go, and yeah, he was just kind of a flash in the pan. So I don't think they really utilized him correctly. All right, so we got Sean Spears over on AEW right now. So Ty Dillinger couldn't stand him. Sean Spears definitely liked the gimmick a lot better than the Ty Dillinger gimmick. It worked over in NXT, but once he got called up to the main roster, just like so many others, those gimmicks work on NXT, but then they don't know how to. Not a lot of them can evolve them to the main roster and have them work for them. So that was, I think, the case of Ty Dillinger. So definitely like him better over here on AEW, but he's kind of fighting some newcomer to AEW. Guy really likes Zelda though, because his symbols that the guy has on there kind of reminds me of the Zelda logo. Not quite the Zelda logo, but pretty darn close. So on NXT, we have another up and comer versus the guy that's been teaming with Matt Riddle, defending the tag belts with them. So Andrew says he met Dixie Carter. I like her a lot. M from Scotland. So when TNA came to Scotland, he got to do the VIP, and Dixie Carter walked around and met and spoke to everyone in the arena. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's what I like to hear. There's if you have a cool story of a wrestler that you met that really stands out, definitely share that. I'll read that out loud. So that's pretty cool to hear that Dixie Carter seems like she, even though she's running the company, she kind of is down to earth a little bit. She goes around and meets with everybody. 13, Ryan, who is the most overrated in your opinion? Give me a minute. I'll come back to that one. Let me think on that one for a minute. TNA, 13 Scorpio. TNA always ankle biting WWE is why they failed. I think they had their moments, and when you couldn't make a deal, and then he went to New Japan, and he went to New Japan, and he went to Ring of Honor. Um, once they lost AJ Styles, it was downhill for me. Andrew, when I met Mr. Anderson, I called him Mr. Kennedy. He couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, so Mr. Kennedy, nice guy. We actually, one of the shows that I worked last year, we brought Mr. Kennedy in. My son got to meet him. He was really cool, really nice guy. Another guy that I've worked with last year that you might not think he's like just a super nice guy was Gangrel. I know I grew up watching Gangrel, and then when I actually got to work a show that Gangrel was going to be on, and my son got to sit backstage with him and talk to him about how he came up with the character. And my son just happened to be wearing his Lost Boys t-shirt, and that's how Gangrel came up with the character. So it was super cool. He was very friendly, very just chit chatted with everybody. Mr. Kennedy was more of the same. Andrew said EC3 was another one. Yeah, when we met him, he drew all over the poster that he had made, so that was pretty awesome. So Adam said he met Ray. I'm assuming that's Rey Mysterio. Ryan said Al Snow, always a pleasure. That was pretty cool. Worked at a show with Al Snow and did one of his little mini camps. And just very knowledgeable. Okay, so this guy in NXT that's been working with Matt Riddle. Oh, that's where the Dexter comment came in from earlier. Dexter Loomis, that's the guy. Okay. Yeah, he is creepy, but he's got some moves. So yeah, where did I leave off here? Al Snow. Yep, Al Snow is awesome. Adam Johnson heard he's one of the nicest people in pro wrestling. For me, we've met a lot of the big names, but Natalia, I've met her. Me and my son met her about 6 different times. She is one of the nicest. She always signs for everyone. Charlotte signs. We've met her twice, but the one time that kind of stands out for me is Lillian Garcia. It was my son's 8th birthday. He had a sign. She rolls up to the arena. She rolls the window down. She's like, "Is it your birthday?" Super excited, super big smile, drives in through the gates, doesn't even get her luggage, runs all the way back out, gives my son a huge hug, wishes him happy birthday, signs an autograph, takes a picture. And that was 5-6 years ago. And that's just, that took the cake right there. So, Andrew, do you remember Grado from TNA? Yeah, I remember Grado. Doesn't have really the typical wrestling look, but he's funny, kind of like a Santino Marella. This what he kind of reminds me of. And Adam Johnson just says Gangrel. Andrew says, I met the Shield and Dean was the nicest out of all three. He actually spoke to him for a while. That's pretty cool. Me and my son have met Dean Ambrose. My son has met Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, we have not met. So yeah, Dean Ambrose, when we met him, he was super cool to meet. Again, it's really hard when you're in that line. It's, you only get 30, maybe 45 seconds with him. But he really knows how to make the most of that little bit of time that we had. So Seth Rollins, I kind of heard more of the same. He was just kind of sign and go. So Ryan says El Snow is one of the nicest guys in wrestling. Adam said he got to meet Rey Mysterio. Me and my nephew almost met Rey Mysterio, but the line was like 2 hours long, over 2 hours long, and he was only signing for 2 hours. So I unfortunately didn't get to meet Rey Mysterio. Ryan, come on, bro. Most overrated. I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me. Most overrated. Man. Oh, I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this, and I get the draw for this character. I really do. Uh, okay, Ryan's gonna go first. He's gonna say Nakamura. I like Nakamura. Adam Johnson's gonna say Cena. I like Cena too. I met him. He was a nice guy. I I'm gonna say Brock Lesnar. I know I'm gonna catch flack for this, but Brock. I mean, he doesn't really do much. I mean, but I guess he doesn't have to. So, I guess the one person I maybe say over Brock is Goldberg, especially since they've been bringing him back. I've never really cared for Goldberg. He's got a couple moves. Um, so those are the kind of guys I don't like. The ones that just come in, they don't really offer a lot. Brock does like 4 moves in a match. I'll give you it is a little bit more entertaining than Goldberg, though. So we had a couple other people chiming in on this. Adam Johnson says Benoit. Man, when I met him, super nice guy, hardworking. He really didn't have that charisma, no mic skills, but I thought his wrestling ability was really good. He's able to tell a story in the match, all things that I think are important. He just didn't have that mic skills. So Adam Johnson says Becky. I was on the Becky train. I like Becky Lynch. Now it's starting to get a little stale. I will admit, though, that semi that she rolls in on, that's actually pretty cool. So let's see. Charlotte. Ryan says amen on Charlotte. I will also agree. She's good, but the amount of hype that she gives herself, I think, is just it's not. It's definitely not. And I don't like when WWE tries to really push that wrestler on you. It needs to be organic. Hey, if you're trying to push somebody, that's cool. But if it's not working, kind of shift things a little bit. The Roman Reigns boat, that was a year prior. The next year, we didn't want Roman Reigns. It wasn't organic. It didn't feel that way. Stop trying to shove a person down our throat. And Charlotte, no matter if she's not the top name, Charlotte's always constantly thrown down our throat. So Lost My Cat says yes, Ryan. Adam Johnson says yes. Ryan L. Plus the whole murder thing. Yeah, with the whole Benoit, I don't, yeah. So Andrew, I think Shayna Baszler is too cringe. So yeah, let's see what's going on here. Keith Lee is doing a promo on NXT, on AEW. Let's see what we got going on here. Mirko Stunt is on there. Marco Stunt. It's kind of talking about the Lance Archer, so that I do feel like they were setting up something for the future here. But I do see Lance Archer probably taking this TNT tournament Okay, so Marco Stunt's coming out on AEW. So Ryan says Benoit was my favorite at the time. Broke my heart. I feel so bad for all their families, Chris included. Yeah, like I said earlier, that was a shock to me. I mean, when I met him just 1 year prior, super nice guy. But with the things that we found out since then, with his brain and all the injuries he had to his brain, and it can't be forgiven. I don't think he can go into the WWE Hall of Fame or any Hall of Fame. Um, it's unfortunate. I think he was a good wrestler, maybe a little bit overrated, but I still think he was a pretty good wrestler. So Andrew wants to know who is the most underrated wrestler of all time. His is James Storm, is his pick. Adam Johnson says, you know what? Benoit isn't overrated. Actually, all right. So on AEW, we got Marco Stunt is going against Brody Lee. So that's what's going on AEW. Adam Johnson says Rockstar Spud is actually the most underrated wrestler of all time. Okay. Speaking of which, if you are watching NXT, he is on there right now. This part of that tournament. I know he got released a week and a half ago, but they did film all those matches. So Tony Nese is his opponent. So if you like Rockstar Spud, he's on NXT right now. So Andrew says, I love Tony Atlas, and I don't know why. He was a little kooky when we met him, but he had his quirks about him. But definitely, he was still a nice guy, a very strong individual. Andrew says, watch ICW Scotland. All right, so let's see what's so far. I would say between answer all the questions, talking with you guys, AEW has probably been winning so far for me tonight. What do you guys think? I don't know if anybody's also watching this at the same time that I'm watching it. What do you guys think on Darby Allin? I can't say he's the most underrated individual because I think he's getting his time to shine now. So So Adam Johnson wants to know the rarest pop that I have. The rarest pop that I have is probably it's gonna be just looking in what I have up there. For me, it's that AJ Lee that I have. Hard one to come by, and actually, when I got that, I actually got it for my son before I even knew what Funko Pops were. Years before I knew what Funko Pops were, and it was just a cool little thing. So ended up getting that for my son, and then that couple of years later, we started collecting the WWE Funko Pops. So if you subscribe to Fake Club on Instagram, I've been doing a Funko Pop a day. I literally just started doing the Instagram to try to, from the weeks of doing this live, people said, hey, why don't you do Instagram and kind of show us the pictures of the wrestlers that you met and stuff like that. So I'm slowly figuring that out. So any suggestions you guys have, definitely, let me know. What's your favorite video game or video game series? Favorite video game. I don't know. I would say the ones that I can play the longest are probably the Assassin's Creed games. I've been playing those for Black Flag, let's see, the last two, Odyssey and stuff like that. So I can really play some Assassin's Creed for a while. Sorry to tell you guys, I've been on Fortnite for about 2.5 years. Not my favorite game, but it's one of those games you just been invested in. But the WWE games, I actually like for WWE games, besides the old Nintendo 64 WCW games, which I think are some of the best wrestling games. I actually like the WWE All-Star game because just how exaggerated it is. It's wrestling. It's, exaggerate the moves, exaggerate the builds of the characters and stuff like that. And everything's so exaggerated. So I'm kind of excited for the new WWE game that they have coming out later this year. I did see, I believe it was The Rock throwing Cena. They were in like a bayou arena, and he throws him into the crowd, and a alligator comes up, and looks like he's just going to swallow John Cena. So that's their oh my god moment. So hopefully they don't mess this game up like 2K20. Adam wants to know if I've ever played the Arkham series. I've played a couple of the first few, but I haven't played anything in the last that's been out for the last year or two. Ryan wants to know Mass Effect or Assassin's Creed. I played Mass Effect all for about an hour or two. I couldn't really get into it. Maybe I didn't give it enough time. So Assassin's Creed is definitely an easy win for me. So right now we on AEW, we do have the Dean Ambrose just doing a promo. And NXT's on commercial, but it's a Psych commercial. So I don't know if anybody out there is like Psych, seen every episode, waiting for the next movie to come out. Huge Psych fan. And now they're actually back from commercial, and it's that Cruiserweight Championship tournament that's going on. All right. So Andrew says, I think NWA are hard to see. They were trying to hype a history teacher as their world champion who was like 60. I really like Tim Storm, but just don't know about the build-up. Yeah, for me, there's so much wrestling in a given week. I used to watch Ring of Honor on every week, and now that's kind of fallen by the wayside. There's only a few handful of wrestlers there that I actually really like to tune in and see their matches. So I try to stick with AEW and WWE every week, but I do like to try to get in some Japan. There's still a couple wrestlers over in New Japan. I would like to see the Gorillas of Destiny, fans of them. Okada, fan of Okada. Thoughts on Willie Mack? Didn't like him in Lucha Underground. Don't like him in TNA. There's just something about him. He can wrestle for a big man, but it's not one of the characters that I really got behind. And I don't know about you guys watching out there, but Lucha Underground, I thought I was a fan of Lucha Underground. But Adam Johnson says bye. Willie Mack, just not my thing. Andrew says thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I do this every Wednesday. I watch AEW NXT kind of just so I can talk to you guys and let you guys know what's going on there and just kind of talk wrestling with you guys. So if you like it, hit the like button, subscribe, tune in next week. We still got about 30 minutes here, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So AEW is on commercial right now. NXT still has that cruiserweight match going on. What wrestlers do I hate and why? Hate's a strong word. I hate to be that guy. but hate, I just say ones I really don't like. I like. There's just ones I just really can't get behind. Goldberg. I just couldn't. I can't really get behind Goldberg. It's just a hype machine. There's not really much there. I don't like wrestlers that can't actually wrestle. The ones that I really like are the ones that really can tell that story in the ring. That can do that, have really good promos. Goldberg can't do any of that. So I just really can't get behind him. If he doesn't wrestle again, I'm not going to be sad. And then 13 Scorpio said had to step away, but agree on Goldberg. I was a fan, and he definitely was a big draw, but not much in wrestling department. But usually the superstars are rarely the best wrestlers. That's true. That's true. I'm going to be honest. As a wrestler, I think you need to really just be able to get on the mic, and if you can relate to the crowd and draw them in, and have that character that they can really get behind. I definitely think that you can definitely has the first step to being a star of wrestling. They can teach you the wrestling. They can help you do that. But having that real ring psychology, it's really hard to really get somebody to develop that. So Drake Maverick actually pulled off the victory here. Bulldog off the top ropes. So in his group, he is 1-1 for his record. So he's third on the list. So Jake Atlas is leading in Group A, and Akira Tozawa in Group B. Ric Flair, awesome wrestler back in the day, garbage human being. Right. Drake Maverick is going over in the tourney. We'll see. That would be interesting, having Drake Maverick go over in the tourney, even though they've released him 2 weeks ago. Interesting promo he just did there. He said he's not leaving yet. He's not leaving until he's the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. So was this filmed 2 weeks ago or before the 2 weeks, or was this something that was for more recent? Are they still having him work? So up next, we do have the main event on NXT. It's going to be Keith Lee versus Damian Priest. I would not be surprised to see Priest walk away with the belt, only because I think there's bigger things in store for Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee is going to be the next NXT champion. I'm saying it here so you guys can hold me to it. He has the character. He has that ring presence. He knows how to tell that story in the ring. On backstage, he seems like, hey, he's not letting it get to his head. He can wrestle. I mean, he's very agile for a big man. So, but I do think Keith Lee loses tonight because I think he will be the next one. He'll be the person that beats Adam Cole for the title. So actually, that one's going to be a good one. I know we're probably getting to, yep. So Lance Archer versus Dustin Rhodes on NXT should be a decent match. Dustin Rhodes, great wrestler, but Lance Archer has been destroying people. They're really building him up. And having Jake the Snake in his corner, you want good promos. Jake the Snake, that psychology that he has about wrestling, it's done a lot of things in his life that I can't really get behind, but man, Jake the Snake, he has that. He would be, I've been saying for years, if you can get Jake the Snake in your corner to kind of teach you some of what he knows. And so they're kind of having Lance Archer do that. That's pretty good. So do you have a Money Inc. 2-pack pop from Walgreens? I actually do have that. That is right here, right there. So show you some of the ones that I have up top there. I got the Bella 2-pack, both of them. Then I got the Total Divas, both of them. I got the Andre up there. I even got the End Zone Cass and actually Old School Sting. So that's kind of what I have there. And actually, I think these go down a little bit more. So my Chase figures, and so got that's what's down there. Plus my mask when I come out to the ring. So okay, this is very interesting. 13 Scorpio, future prediction. Call in Jinder Mahal, Money in the Bank to challenge McIntyre. Surprise run-in by Heath Slater. I don't know about the surprise run-in by Heath Slater, but on Raw, I was actually excited to see Jinder Mahal. I kind of hope that they do something to really do him justice. Like they gave him the belt once, he wasn't ready, but they have a chance here to kind of build him up. And if it is to take the Money in the Bank and then keep building him up and then eventually face McIntyre, I think that would be a good call. Surprise run-in by Heath Slater. Okay, I'll bite. I can see that happening. Sure. I mean, they'd have to bring him back first, but that would be pretty interesting. So, Jinder Mahal, got to meet him last year at the Royal Rumble Fan Access, which that was the first Fan Access I've ever been to. So I don't know if you guys out there watching have ever been to a Fan Access. It's a pretty interesting experience. I mean, not the first 2 hours that I was there because I was waiting in one line so my son can meet Alexa Bliss. But after that, things got a little bit better, and I actually got to get through a lot of the different lines, and we got to meet a lot of the wrestlers and take pictures with them. But yeah, Fan Access, that was super exciting. I probably would go to a Fan Access again, definitely. Yeah, Ryan. So your son could meet her. Honestly, I'm super excited to meet any of the wrestlers. I'm lifelong fan. Um, so it really was. That was the day that we chose. So we only went to one of the 4 different Fan Accesses, and that's the one that we chose because that was the number one on his list. I remember we had an opportunity to meet her once or twice before. And when she came walking past my son holds up his autograph book and he goes, ah! That's it. You got the little squeal out of him, and then she walked right on by. Yeah. So 13 Scorpio, 3MB at One Night Stand. Okay. Lance Archer is destroying Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes is busted open. They are running to commercial now for AEW. I do like Jericho on commentary. You know what? Back to our previous thing. Most underrated wrestler, Chris Jericho. Now, some people might say he's the most overrated, or he can do everything. He runs his own cruise, that he does once a year. I mean, that guy constantly revamps himself and does so many different things. I've seen him host talk shows and stuff like that. For all that he's done, I don't think people give Chris Jericho the credit that he actually deserves. So to kind of double back on the question from earlier. So NXT, we got Damian Priest coming out for his match. Glad to see it's taken him a little time to find his niche on NXT. He had some success in Ring of Honor, but I don't think he was quite there yet. I think he's starting to finally get his gimmick down. So I think today will be the time we see Damian Priest take that next step. Okay. So Keith Lee, It's almost as good as the Bobby Roode Glorious, but that comes out and just that bask in his glory in the background. I'm like, really? Something about it makes me smile whenever I hear his music. All right, Ryan, thanks for tuning in. So, got to get the kids off to bed. Thank you for taking time out to, help with the stream and have some very good questions. So, always enjoy when I see questions pop up from you. So yeah, tonight so far we've had a lot of new people come in, and chit chat and stuff like that, and we've had some familiar faces. Ryan, we have 13 Scorpio. I think that's all 3 weeks I've seen him on there. So I remember stuff like that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and with something new I'm trying here with this YouTube channel, and so thanks for supporting me, you guys, and supporting wrestling, and you know. So we got a standoff in the ring before the match. They're just introducing on NXT. So Keith Lee or Damian Priest standoff in the ring. So NXT North American Championship. What do you guys feel about that? I don't think there's so many different belts that they could use the North American Championship. I don't know. Never been a big fan of the North American NXT Championship. So yeah, like I said, we do this every Wednesday. So if you guys see something, you guys have some comments, something you want to see earlier in the week, I do some unboxings. Been doing a lot of pro wrestling crate stuff, so I have some more things coming, some mystery with the micro brawlers and the pins. Working on a couple different things. If you guys want to see some of the matches that I've had, let me know. Trying different things. So as I grow this, I'll be learning. I've already had some help earlier from Ryan helping me because I had some mic issues. So all right, Keith Lee just knocked Priest over the guardrail. So they're fighting in what would be normally the crowd. Okay, Keith Lee is pressing Damian Priest over his head. Oh my gosh. From the crowd area, pressed them to the ring. So, and he just kind of bounced off the side of the ring. And Damian Priest, they say, he's 6'7". He's no small guy. And he just, wow, that was pretty good. So just turn back to NXT to see what's going on there. We got Lance Archer going out of the ring after Dustin. So it looks like Lance Archer's just kind of toying with Dustin. Looks like Dustin's out on his feet pretty much. Interesting. So I think this is going to be the main event for AEW. This Lance Archer Dustin match. I don't know how it goes 13 more minutes though, because Dustin's bleeding pretty good. Looks like he's almost out of it. It's probably the hard thing about doing this live stream is just trying to the fan in me is like, oh man, I really want to watch that. So then I kind of, I do record these so I can go back and watch them later on. NXT is on commercial, so that lets me go tune back into Lance Archer. Dustin's making a comeback, setting him up. He has his legs strapped over the middle rope, so it looks like he's about to kick him and he does. Okay, that right there, he just got the low blow, just got kicked, and he kind of no-sold it. I mean, he went to the ground, but after that, he really no-sold it. So I'm not really digging that from. I know Lance Archer's supposed to be this beast and this monster, but really no selling that kick to the groin. I don't know about you guys, but you kick me in the groin, I'm probably gonna stay down. So for a while. So that's the thing when I'm watching the wrestling. I hate people that cannot sell. I mean, just sell. When you refuse to sell, it doesn't do anything but make the other person look bad. All right, AEW is going to break. As they're going to break, Archer is kind of prying at that cut that Dustin has on his forehead, trying to get the blood flowing more. And NXT is on commercial as well. So they got both matches. They got about 10 minutes left. So just kind of looking through some of these. Had a lot of comments today. So seeing if I missed anything. Maybe double back to something. 13 Scorpio Night's main events. So yeah, it's Damian Priest versus Keith Lee for the North American Championship. That's what's going on right now. That's the main event. I think Priest takes it today, or if he doesn't take it today, he takes it soon, because I think you have to really get Keith Lee the belt, the North America belt, off of Keith Lee, because I think he's a good feud for Adam Cole. So I think he's the one that eventually takes the belt from Adam Cole. And then the main event on AEW is Dustin Rhodes versus Lance Archer. Murder Hawk Lance Archer, for the advancing to the finals to face Cody Rhodes. That would be interesting to have Dustin versus Cody. I think people would want to see it. I don't know how you get to there with the buildup that you guys had with Lance Archer and Cody Rhodes. But I think if it is Lance Archer and Cody Rhodes, I think it's super predictable. And I think everybody predicted it. So that'd be a nice little swerve to somehow cheat Lance Archer out of it and have Dustin versus Cody. So we'll see. We'll see. We got 10 minutes to find out if I'm right on both of those. I don't know if you guys agree with that or. Okay, I really like that Keith Lee does the pounce. I mean, you got a big man like that. That pounce maneuver, that pounce. That's a. I remember when Adam Cole came running out from the back and out of nowhere, Keith Lee hit him with that pounce at the bottom of the rampway, and he went flying into the second row when there was actually fans in the crowd. And I was like, oh my gosh, he just literally hit him with a pounce and he just flew. Just a monster slam from Lee on Damian Priest. It looks like, yep, Keith Lee is jumping over. Corkscrew. I will not pronounce his name correctly. Marcelo, the announcer that used to be on in New Japan. Love his announcing. Oh, okay. Keith Lee just bounced off the ropes, hit a massive clothesline on Damian Priest. I mean, that was a pretty nice clothesline. All right, tuning back into AEW to kind of see what's up, and Rhodes and Archer just kind of elbows back and forth. Okay, Dustin just hit blocked a clothesline from Lance Archer, and then hit a clothesline of his own. So tonight we got two good main events going on here on AEW and on NXT. You know, maybe in the future I'll set it up so I can have a second TV, so I'm not just going back from one to another. So I can kind of keep you guys posted a little bit better. But I'm just starting out doing this, and so as I learn and understand this more, I'll be doing a little bit more. So if you guys have any suggestions, definitely put them in there. I definitely listen. I've already, Ryan helped me out earlier. 13 Scorpio always has some good suggestions. So, all right, Lance Archer went for a choke slam on Dustin. Dustin just hit the crossroads on Lance Archer. Kicks out at 1. All right. So I don't know a lot about Lance Archer before AEW. But what I'm seeing in Lance Archer from Lance Archer in AEW, I know they're trying to build him up as this big monster, but no selling a low blow and kicking out at 1 on on the crossroads. I'm like, I get it. It's Dustin doing the crossroads, but so far I would say that AEW's probably had the better show for the evening. But the NXT main event is pretty good, and the Charlotte versus Mia Yim match was pretty entertaining from what I saw. So NXT, switching back to NXT to kind of let you guys know what's going on there. Damian Priest is on the top ropes waiting for Lee to get up. So a cyclone kick from off the top ropes onto Lee. Didn't look like it was done the best, but I mean, he's a big guy. 6'7", Damian Priest. Looks like he's getting ready to put a choke slam in on Keith Lee. Ooh. Lee hit him with that inside headbutt. All right, Damian Priest is going up top. So as the NXT was getting a little dull in action, I just switched back over to NXT. And as I got here, it looks like Lance Archer was going for his finisher. Dustin blocked it. They a couple moves later, and then Lance Archer hit the choke slam. Okay, that was a very close. He actually, after the choke slam, he went for the cover, and Dustin got him with a tried to roll him up, and that was just a hair away from 3. I actually think the ref had to actually slow our count down at the end to get that. I think that was actually technically a 3 count, but whatever. Now Lance Archer went to the turnbuckle and actually rips the turnbuckle off. So now the top turnbuckle is exposed. Okay, then he just rammed Dustin's head into the exposed turnbuckle. So, that's the second one, and that's 3. QT Marshall's out there with the towel. Looks like QT Marshall might throw in the towel. Nope. Now Cody's out there, grabs the towel. Oh. All right. Cody did not throw in the towel. Okay. Lance Archer has a claw on Dustin and then repeatedly smashes his head into the ring and then takes the 3 count. So, and then I tuned back over to see Keith Lee actually beat Damian Priest. I was wrong on that one. Looks like, so they're showing some replays. Damian Priest hit that side effect on Lee. Did a little cocky pin. Lee kicked out in 2. So Damian Priest tried to use the nightstick at the end, it looks like here. Oof. Big monster chop. Nice power bomb. Okay, not a strong finish. A double power bomb is what ended that one. No after match shenanigans on AEW. And Keith Lee's just posing with the belt as they close out. So, you know, that's going to bring us to the end here of tonight's AEW NXT Live. We had a lot of good questions, so a lot more people streaming in this week. So hopefully that continues next week. So, and so everybody that's been, you know, tuning in every week, this is awesome. Thank you guys. I do it at 7:30, so it's not such a long stream. If people want to see me cover the whole 2 hours, comment. I look back on the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep doing the 7:30 to 9. So I'll kind of let you guys know what you missed in that first half hour. That allows me to be the fan and kind of watch to see kind of, you know, what shows, how they're opening up and take some notes and stuff like that. So, but that, yeah, that brings, since there's not any questions waiting for me or no comments, I'm going to kind of wrap this up here. So thank you guys for tuning in today. If you liked it, you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend. And until next time.